Welcome back to the AttendStar Happy Hour podcast. For today's episode, Brennan and Philip will continue the conversation from last week's episode. AttendStar thinks beyond tickets and offers so much more to events. So what's the cost?
I do want to ask the blunt question that everyone's probably thinking about in their mind. What is the cost with this? Because what you've just outlined is almost either too expensive or too good to be true. What is the cost?
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing is your ticket buyers pay for the cost. So, oftentimes we'll have a 10% ticket fee that will cover everything that we do. So your show, your event, you're not paying anything out of pocket for what we're doing.
So the ticket fees are financing and paying for all of this.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
So
there's no interest though. So you're not really financing.
Good point. And if let's say the worst happens and ticket sales are terrible, it sounds like the ticketing partner also gets hurt, right?
Yeah. We take a hit. So what's really cool about AttendStar, while we structure our deals like this and while we work with air shows or any event like this where we just charge a ticket fee and that covers everything that we do, is because we're really invested in your event. We want to come in and help your event as much as possible. And we have what we call our event success team, where you get a client success manager who helps you build your ticket sales page and is a valuable resource for anything event related. You have your event marketing team here that you work with as well. And so our goal is to help you not only sell as many tickets as possible, generate as much revenue for your event as possible, but also just make sure that your event goes really well. And that can mean a lot of different things. But yeah, when we work with you, we are essentially making a decision, an investment, and our entire team's making that investment in your event, and we decide that, hey, this is going to pay off. So instead of charging thousands and thousands of dollars for our services, we just say, hey, let's just your ticket fee. The ticket fee is going to cover everything, and we're going to make it happen, make it work.
So one question I have for you is, how do you specifically segment these email lists? Is it by ticket type, by date, or the date that they purchased? Is it by location? How specifically do you segment these lists?
Yeah. So one thing with email segmentation is if you really do it right and you have a lot of different segments that you can utilize for your email marketing efforts, you're going to have ticket buyers in multiple different lists, which is okay. So geographically speaking, you're going to have ticket buyers who live within 50 miles of your air show. For example, you're going to have ticket buyers who live within 25 miles of your air show. You're going to have ticket buyers who live, further than 100 miles from your air show. And it's important to segment those out for a variety of different reasons. One reason is, you get an understanding of what you need to do advertising wise. You look at your location sales report, a feature that we have in AttendStar, where you can say, okay, 78% of my buyers come from within 25 miles. And for all those attendees within 25 miles, they're local buyers. So we may send them email campaigns that are more relevant for locals, meaning like perhaps we talk about specific sponsors, local businesses within 25 miles, and we want to add a lot of value to that sponsorship by sending attendees within 25 miles an email specifically about that sponsor and encouraging them to go to that store or go to that business or whatever it might be. You can use those segments geographically that way. You can also, it's kind of funny, but if you have right before your air show, you have all these attendees. Say you have like a few hundred attendees who are coming from like 150 miles away to your air show. What if you send those attendees a specific know before you go information with some sort of copy of like, we know you have a long drive from, however far out,
Or a long flight.
or a long flight or whatever it is. They're going to be shocked when they receive that email because they're like, how do they know that I've got to jump on a plane or I have a long ways to come for this event? It goes a long way with ticket buyers, and it's impressive. It's very personal. It shows that you care about them, and that you really value them. You know who they are, and in all of your emails, one cool way to further make things more personal is you can actually segment, or not segment, but you can grab all of your attendees' names, right, and send them emails that include their name by using merge tags. So in your email list, if you have everyone's first name, for example, you can say, "Hey, Philip," and mention and just make a personalized message in your email to Philip. And when you send out that email to all of your attendees, it's going to substitute that name for everyone's first name. Now you have fallbacks in place. I won't get into a bunch of the weeds when it comes to that, but you want to spend a lot of time cleaning your list, making sure, do I have everyone's first name in my email list? Do I have everyone's zip code in my email list? Whatever it is. And yeah, with segmentation, you can get really creative with how you use segmentation to really impress your attendees. One thing that's cool is we'll actually, before an event, for some events, we'll get we'll look at our location sales report and we'll segment ticket buyers according to that location sales report, depending on the zip code they're coming from, and we'll send them specific emails with different sets of directions depending on the zip code that they're traveling from. And you can tell them, you can say, "Hey, we know that you're coming from here, so take this route to get to the air show."
And it sounds like when you have, let's say, a 2-day air show, knowing who purchased Saturday tickets, let's say general admission, to those that have box seats, to, chalets, to Flightline Club, being able to say, hey, Saturday Flightline or Saturday box seats, Saturday general admission, here's the respective directions, copy, and information that's pertinent to that group. And then furthermore, which, not wanting to jinx it, but every air show, there's always a surprise. And sometimes it's for a specific group of buyers, but we need to send out a special notice or an alert. And that, what we call day of event marketing, I don't know of any agency or any team that won't be available on a Friday night or a Saturday morning, Saturday night to send off some sort of alert.
Right.
And it is brilliant, but it's also, I guess, further reinforcing this idea that if you do it right, it's actually quite easy. It's, yes, an inconvenience to our personal lives, but we love the shows that we work with. And that's partly why we do it, is the success speaks volumes. But having that list, you just jump in there. You guys have already talked it out. Hey, should the worst happen? Should these other contingencies need to be implemented? We're ready to go.
Right. Yeah. Say it's been raining all Friday night and your air show's on Saturday, and get up early Saturday morning and you're like, "Oh man, like this lot, it's a grass lot. It's flooded."
Wait, slow
It's
down.
flooded.
You're the ticketing partner. Why would you care about the grass lot?
Why would I care about the
Yeah,
grass
why
lot?
would you care about it? Because your job is to sell tickets.
Because everyone who's bought tickets, some of those people have to park in that grass lot,
Yeah,
and
but
they're not able to
you're the
anymore.
ticketing partner, Brennan. Why are you going to such great lengths to care about the ticket buyer?
Yeah, because we're not just a ticketing company, obviously. If you've been listening to this podcast, we do way more than just ticketing,
It sounds like it.
and we think beyond tickets. And, for the ticket buyer experience when it comes to um, needing to know that you need to park somewhere else, perhaps a know before you go email already went to those ticket buyers about where to park. They've already seen on your website where general parking is for general admission attendees, and Saturday morning, you're all of a sudden like, okay,
You're
we've
in
got to
crisis
tell
mode.
all of these people to park in this other location. Well, because we have segments set up and because of the way we create those segments, and specifically in regards to the tickets they purchased in this case, but we have different IDs for every ticket that attendees can purchase. And so we've got your general admission Saturday attendee list ready to go in both our email sending system and our SMS sending system. So um, in this case, we're going to send a text message and an email to all of these attendees because it's crucial that they need to know that they're parking somewhere else and that
So
this parking
not
lot's flooded.
only with emails are you segmenting, but really from the phone number, you're also segmenting those buyers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you might do them in parallel.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, when we're in crisis mode and we want to make sure that everyone sees this message, we don't want to rely on everyone to just see a text message or everyone to just open an email.
Or
We,
look at Facebook
or,
or
right.
X
Yeah.
or Twitter, as they call it. So
Yeah. We make it loud and clear. So we send them an email and a text message. You're updating Facebook with a post. Perhaps you have an alert banner on your website that links to a landing page about general admission attendees needing to park somewhere else. And yeah, we receive a call, say, from you at the air show, and you say, hey, we've got to alert all general admission attendees that they need to park in this other area with this address. And then like 15 minutes later or quicker than that, everyone gets the message.
yeah.
um, and just imagine if you're in crisis mode at this point and you're not using segmentation for your your attendee list.
I don't even like role playing that
and
because I can imagine the type of stress that would be.
and from a ticketing standpoint, all you have is maybe a way to export your attendee list, and now you're like manually sorting and filtering all of your Saturday general admission attendees, and you're going through and copying thousands and thousands of contacts and creating new lists in your systems and and sending it out that way.
You would have to very quickly, in a moment, become an Excel whiz.
They're not going to get the message fast enough.
No, and by the time that you're ready to send it, it'll be maybe 2 to 4 hours.
And the show's about to happen, and you have probably a million other things to do.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, someone's time is tied up with creating these lists that really should have been made already.
I can't stress what I end up hearing, like the value of having one person to go to versus, let's say, 6. I mean, there's nothing worse than air show, and this is the sad, unfortunate reality of it. They work with an agency. That agency has employees or contractors. They are not contracted to work on the weekends, especially late at night. And then they're faced with this unpleasant truth that they're not available when they need them. And I know a lot of the air shows, I hate to admit this on the podcast, but they have my cell phone, they have your cell phone, they have our team's cell phone, and they have their point of contact, and that person is on call ready should the worst happen, some sort of change or variable, and we're able to run quickly and execute a plan that we've already talked through and we're prepared for. But the other side of this is those shows that don't have that. I mean, I hate to say it, a ticketing partner is just for ticketing. They don't even assume that responsibility of everything the day before and the day of the event. That's really in their purview. And it's a sad reality check when the airshow team realizes that this is going to be a total disaster and nightmare. I mean, there's only so much we can do. We obviously couldn't pull off all of these working parts to have the messaging and the delivery, and we just have to wish for the best. But I love it when we get the call and we're able to say, yeah, we can do that. And then being like, thank God we used you guys.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
mean, we
That
get
happens a lot.
yeah, it more often than I would like, but I mean, that's the value of being prepared and having a
Right.
plan.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So many benefits to working with AttendStar. And what's cool is like what we talked about earlier, where um, we can, if you have a marketing team that you have in house, or you have an agency that you work with who um, does all your website work, does social media for you. Perhaps you have a team who does all of these things already, let's say,
And they do a great job.
and they do a really good job. That's perfectly fine. And we restructure everything that we do. We can restructure in the sales process, even our fees, or perhaps the way that, you pay for, using the ticketing platform, which ultimately in most every case is going to be in the form of a ticketing fee. And you may need to be more self-service, but you still want to be able to utilize all of these really cool features that are inside of AttendStar that are designed specifically for air shows. um, and you want to get the value of that. That's fine. We we can be as full service and do so many things for your show, and regardless of whether you need to, you know, utilize AttendStar as a full service ticketing company and reap all the benefits of what AttendStar has to offer, or whether you just need to use our ticketing platform and you just need to have access to all these features, that we talk about, and that, everything that we have. We're always still going to be here as a resource for you. Um, and you always are going to be able to reach out to someone directly on our team. You're not going to have to call a 1-800 number. Can you imagine having to call
Please hold
a one eight
while
hundred
we
number to
find a
talk to
rep
your?
to help you.
I can't
Your
even
call is
fathom.
important to us.
Can't even fathom.
We have people at our gates that are royally upset right now.
Right. I
I could, I mean, it would be fun. I mean, not fun, but like just to imagine what that would really sound like in a real world application. Because I think some people have actually had it happen to them, and I would hate to be on the receiving end of that reality check. But
yeah.
I mean, it's nice to be able to have someone just pick up the phone and say, "Oh, hey, yep, yep, everything we talked about yesterday, yeah, we can roll that out,"
Yeah.
and have a go plan.
Right. Yeah, when the air show's happening and you're there on site and you're running around doing however many things you're doing, you're so busy. I mean, it's so much easier if you can just give one of us a quick call to do something for you on the ticketing side of things,
And you don't
or
have
on
to
the marketing side of things.
explain a thing, and they know what they need to do.
Um, we're just ready to rock and roll.
So one thing I do want to mention is probably about half of the air shows we work with, they have an agency.
Yeah.
And we, I would say more often than not, love working with agencies. And I gave the example of, the Saturday or the Friday night, they're not available to, let's say, send off that email. That's common. And that's many times an understood expectation of working with that agency. They've done all of these other parts, and it's a natural compliment for a AttendStar to be coming in and say, hey, you guys are actually a perfect complement to everything that we're doing already. So you guys basically being able to take care of all the ticket buyer communication, especially a few days before, if not a week before, all the way through the show. And that's normally a responsibility that solely falls on us. And sometimes I know we may not be the ones sending off the emails because their team's totally capable of doing it, but we're the one designing it, providing the initial framework, providing the model and sequence, and then that agency runs with it and does what they need, and it constantly adapting. And there's really good synergy there. I think the ones that we've seen trouble is where, you know, there's a lot of things that haven't been addressed up front. And we're a big believer in setting expectations straight from the very beginning when we have those meetings and those calls, making it crystal clear, hey, are you guys going to be taking point on X, Y, and Z? You are wonderful. How can we help make that even easier? Could we provide you with additional support and resources to maximize, you know, our end objective, which is a profitable and successful air show? And everyone getting on the same page historically is incredibly fruitful. And we love the opportunity to work with other, agencies because of the creativity, new approaches that they bring.
Yeah. 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 There's a ton of synergy, like you said a minute ago. 1 + 1 = 3, right? Um, when it comes to AttendStar working with marketing agencies, and um, it it only helps your air show when you combined AttendStar with your existing marketing agency, because one, they're going to learn a lot from us when it comes to air show promotion. They will. And two, we're going to be able to bounce ideas back and forth and perhaps give you an even more successful strategy than maybe you ever had before.
And furthermore, they have access to local market and the
Yeah.
opportunities that exist from all mediums. And many times we're all game for pushing the envelope, doing something bold, doing something new. And if they have the ability to go and execute on it, why wouldn't we want to team up with
Yeah.
that? So I do want, just to make sure it's clear that we don't want to discourage agencies, from working with air shows. It's actually more common than it seems, and we welcome it if we get the opportunity. And um, more often than not, I think it's a good indicator of the probability of success, at least from a marketing deliverables standpoint and PR, from what I've seen.
You hear so many times like, oh, there's too many hands in the pot, though. There's too many hands in the pot. Well, with a 10 star, what we do is we do so much strategic planning before we start promoting the air show that the too many hands in a pot thing is just flies out the window. Like, you don't have to worry about that because we have a lot of meetings with you. We have a lot of meetings with your marketing agency. We do a really good job of getting a game plan together going into the show so that we're all on the same page. Um, and we know how to operate moving forward, and work all together. Um,
Well, I think you mentioned something that's interesting. Our model, we make money when we sell tickets. So we're motivated by actual profitable events. Everything that we recommend is from that one standpoint, but then also great ticket buyer experiences. And we do a very good job of restricting our purview. So we're not going to be coming in saying, hey, you should do X, Y, and Z because, oh, we're going to get a kickback if you spend $15,000 or $20,000 on billboard ads when
yeah.
it's not in your best interest. Now, if you're working with someone and you have a partner outside of AttendStar and they're offering those things, they may have a lot of practical expertise to say, hey, this local demographic, they're going to be on the roads and they're going to be passing these billboards. It's a great opportunity. Or hey, this community, they listen predominantly to the radio in their cars, and that's a medium that should be utilized. Or these folks, they have very few smart televisions in their homes. You're still going to want to use traditional cable. And so some of these pieces of the pie, like, we're not in there trying to get involved in things where we're motivated by, the money of that budget. Our budget's pretty clear. We just want to sell out your event.
I think we need a mascot. that's kind of like a Superman or maybe a Spider-Man. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Batman. I like Batman, but we need a mascot.
Yeah.
I
don't know. There's something
and
about
maybe
the Incredibles I like. I think it's probably just the whole uniform.
Yeah. Red uniform.
Yeah, with a star on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would prefer to be Dash, by the way.
Dash?
Yeah.
The little Speedy.
Yeah.
What's the baby's name?
Gab Gab?
Gab Gab.
I don't know. That's the name that came to me.
I don't know the baby's name, but I'm just picturing everything that the baby can do.
What is the baby's name in the...
Jack Jack.
Thank you.
Jack Jack.
Yeah.
You don't have to ask Siri.
Jack Jack. You want to be Jack Jack?
I'll be Jack Jack. Being a diaper.
And Gary can be Mr. Incredible. I think that's probably the most appropriate.
Yep.
I like that.
Thanks so much for sitting down and doing this. This was good. I'm glad we did this. Hopefully you guys found this 2-part series of the of this episode valuable, and reach out to us with any questions. Call us, email us. We're happy to answer any questions that you have. As always, you can always find us at ICAST in December in Las Vegas. And thanks for joining the AttendStar Happy Hour podcast. My name is Brennan Robinson, and here with me today is Philip Wilhelm. And we look forward to talking to you next time. Thanks.
The AttendStar Happy Hour podcast is coming to an end, but let's continue the conversation. Email us at sales@attendstar.com or call us at 615-223-1973 to get in touch with our team.